Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today's going to be an extremely fun video. Well, really the next week is going to be a really fun video because today we are going back into construction. Now, as what we've seen in the last 2 weeks, we've seen hundreds of sales from hundreds of retailers, Amazon being the big one, and conveniently I was able to pick up a lot of items on sale. So, like the construction usually being full price, I was able to get somewhat of a little bit of a deal on it. And that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. We're going to be doing construction all throughout the room. There's a lot of stuff I still need to talk about in kind of the plan piece. This one will be extremely significant throughout the entire room. So before we do go ahead and start today's building video, please subscribe, hit the bell notification on all so you do not miss another video. And please like this video. Let's go ahead and start today's video. Now, every single time we do these construction projects, it's for many reasons. But for this one, is to make the room run more efficiently. Now, as you guys have seen, a lot of my other videos I've been posting lately, we have been extremely excited about this because the full 100% opening of Goforth Produce is just around the corner. Now, since we opened about 6 months ago in December, we've been running at about 10%. A lot of the room was not running. We did not need to run a lot of the system because a lot of it was still in the testing mode because this is a brand new system. We were working with a lot of brand new technology, brand new grow lights, brand new fans, brand new shelving design. So we're working with so many different ways. Now, I don't even think I can count how many different things we've made with this system. From the first time we built it, to the new Aquaponics system that we just finished a few weeks ago, to all the upgrades we've had to do with the shelves. Let's talk about what needs to happen. Now, Zone 1 is going to stay the same, but Zone 1 is going to be kind of the template, the idea of how the rest of this room is going to look. Now, again, these shelves we don't need for strawberries anymore. And these shelves were designed for basically strawberries only. That's why they look so significantly different compared to the other shelves. So these will be taken out. The ones that are still living will be moved to a different area, which will be the top row of the Aquaponics, and we'll be doing hundreds of testing with that, but we will never be selling strawberries throughout this room. I hope to really refocus on that project in the future on a different project, more like in a greenhouse type of thing. But a part of this, what we're going to be turning these shelves in is we're going to be pushing these together. We're going to be pulling this row out, and then that row will sit where this shelf currently is. Now, the point of this is each shelf is designed a little bit differently, and for the idea of saving time, it would just be better. It is a lot more work to be able to move this and pull the system out and move it, but honestly, for the idea of not having to fully take everything apart and figuring out how to rebuild the shelves, this will hopefully save maybe an entire day. So, what I need to do today, I need to try and just begin. Honestly, I don't even know. I need to start on the plants. I need to start taking them out. Ideally, what I really need to do is start unplugging a lot of the cords, making sure when we move everything, it's still safe and I don't destroy any of the technology. So for the most part, it's going to have to suck to have to rewire everything because I just finished with this system. But in the end, it should look absolutely incredible. So I'm hoping the next 2 days will be basically unwiring everything, making sure everything's organized, ready for an efficient move. Then throughout the rest of the week, we're going to be adding new stuff. But then we're going to be making stuff taller. So the microgreen section will be the same height as this. But these shelves are designed for microgreens. They're slightly smaller than the herb shelves. Then you're probably wondering, what are these shelves going to be turned into? I really have hopes to drastically expand our herb. And with this, both of these shelves will be completely rebuilt from the ground up, and they will be basically identical to this row. So the herb selection will be massive. I'm still trying to really decide what I want to grow in this new section, but a part of this, we also have to expand. And something that I've really noticed, especially the last few weeks, is our germination system is too small. From germinating a ton of stuff at the same time, our rooms are not big enough for germination. So part of this, I really want to focus on this shelf. This is what I call phase 2 germination, when they still need to kind of be under the germination design, or they're kind of cared for a little bit more, but they need grow lights. The ones in the main room where the humidity is a lot higher and it's kind of like cave darkness, those don't get grow lights. But for certain plants like these in particular, we'll go under this. The only reason why I want to expand this is because this system, in order to start preparing the lettuce for it, it will have to go through this process. And I'm going to be growing a lot of lettuce every week. So this system will be designed for that. This system, I'm not looking forward to how many shelves are going to have to be installed to this because it's going to take a long time with a lot of climbing up and down ladders. They will be this tall, insanely tall. Honestly, I might have to get another ladder in here because it's going to be very hard to reach the very top of the shelf. Another thing that I'm very excited about is this tray. Now, we've been stuck with clothing bin trays, and honestly, well, clothing bin lids, they don't work the best. So these are more designed for what I'm looking for, and hopefully this will make the germination process, honestly, a lot less messy and a lot more safe, so the water from overwatering doesn't drip directly into the grow lights, which are powered by high electricity. Extremely dangerous. But a part of this is our main germination room. Every single plant throughout the room starts in here. Microgreens, oregano, thyme. That's kind of what we're working in right here. But what needs to happen is we need to make this shelf bigger, because as time goes by, I really hope to really start growing a lot more through here. So I'm going to be building a shelf identical to how this looks, which will sit right here. Now this shelf will be scooted down. All the stuff on the floor will be kind of sitting on the bottom shelf, kind of the quote unquote storage area. But I really hope I can fit the other shelf in here. In the worst case scenario of it not being able to, I can take the door off. In all cases, again, I really don't want to have to do that. But in the case of that not working the best, I will probably have to run into doing that. So for now, what I need to do, I need to kind of just walk up and down the room, kind of vacuum, prepare stuff, make sure a lot of the boxes are open, because I mean, just check out all the boxes sitting in here. Ton of grow lights, ton of extra supplies. It's gonna be awesome. There's gonna be so many extremely exciting products underway. And a part of this, I mean, I wasn't really planning to go this much into detail, but a part of the same time of this construction, we were getting mini projects ready on the other side of growing Goforth Produce, a brand new website design, which I'm so excited about because it really represents, it really shows what Goforth Produce stands for and what we really hope to do with the business. So I think that will be awesome, and I think you guys will really like it when it does kind of launch out. But for now, my number one focus is going to be trying to get a lot of these strawberries good. A lot of the ones that are still living, I might keep in their pots for now, because honestly, I'd much rather have to plant those plants in the top tomorrow when I can see a little bit better, because it is a little bit more dark in here. We're mainly using the main lights. It's so late at night, all the grow lights have even turned off for the strawberry section. It's coming up on about 10. So I'm gonna try and do as much as I can, most likely off camera. And honestly, for now, I will see you guys tomorrow, or hopefully it'll be a drastically efficient day. All right, it's been about 24 hours since I did the last update yesterday and the intro, but since then I've been able to do a lot. Number one, I've been able to get a little bit of some of the pots done, kind of thrown away, cleaned up, and looking pretty good. But in the end, I also got on my laptop and kind of figured out exactly how the next 3 days are gonna look, because I mean, really to an extent, it's too much work to get done in 1 day, too much work to get done in 2 days. It is then doable in 3 days. So today my goal is to get all the strawberries moved and all the kind of shelves prepped. I need to take off all the cords, a lot of the, like for these grow lights, I need to take off the middle one because the middle one doesn't really need to be there anymore. So I'll put as I take off the middle ones, I'll put those extras on more shelves as I add more. But for the most part, once all that is good, my goal is to move them in their new spots, and that will be today. Tomorrow, my main goal is to start building, and by the end of the day, I really hope to have all the shelves built to an extent. Now, the reason why I do keep saying that is it hit me that I'm one shelf short. So that shelf is supposed to get here really in like a week. So there's going to be still a little bit to do after today's video is done with. Now, that will be good. Tomorrow will be more of a kind of low back day where I just need to take apart a lot of this stuff. I don't know if I'm going to be installing all the grow lights. I think I might just leave that for the next day. But the third day will be a lot of work because it takes a long time to wire everything. But the third day will be kind of the most mental day, trying to just stand on the shelf for like 18 hours. I remember when I did this, I was standing on a bigger ladder for like 8 different hours trying to wire everything, because everything has to be wired a certain way for safety and making sure everything's good enough. So not looking forward to how long this is going to take me, because these shelves are going to be a little bit harder to reach. But I guess for now, I'm going to try and get as many of these kind of sorted as possible. Now, today's video is construction, so I'm not going to show taking out a lot of the strawberries. I'm just going to kind of do that off camera. But I'll see you guys once, really, hopefully everything's looking pretty good. All right, it's been about 3-ish hours, and the shelves are completely cleaned. The vacuum is actually on the way. There it is. It's gonna, incredible. Really strongly recommend it. If you don't have a Shark vacuum, I strongly recommend it. It is fantastic. But that will do a lot of it. I'm gonna have to go back through and kind of clean up under the shelves, because somehow under the shelves are just really dirty. So I'll have to clean up a lot of that. And then for the most part, it also looked pretty good. For now, I'm gonna be growing these like that. The roots aren't coming out as strong enough. And honestly, some of the root structures are massive. So I'm gonna let that grow for probably a week and a half. Once the root structures are big enough, they'll go in the top row, and then it'll all look pretty good from there. But for the most part, going throughout the room, it is completely ready to start being taken apart. I need to go through the generator, start unplugging stuff to make sure stuff is safe as I start redoing stuff. But for the most part, it all looks pretty fantastic. So let's go and start the time lapse on trying to get a ton done and honestly finishing up the main plan for today. Well, this is a massive achievement. Honestly, being completely honest, when I woke up this morning, I did not really think I'd be able to get this much done. Don't get me wrong, my hands do hurt like crazy from picking extremely heavy stuff up and moving them around. But the shelves look awesome. Honestly, the shelves are massive. But for the most part, you could see me going up and down the aisles with the tape measure and all of that stuff to double check to make sure the aisles are straight. Well, I'm a little bit... Something that makes me scratch my head is when I stand here, it does not look straight. It looks like this is doing kind of like a curve, which doesn't make sense because I double checked the dimensions back and forth. And these shelves, this is a perfectly straight aisle. Both of these rows are completely straight. I double checked this. Both of these rows are, for the most part, completely straight. Kind of. It kind of looks like that shelf at the very bottom is a little bit close to that, but right now I'm just kind of being too picky. So I'm going to kind of leave it like that, but I might revisit this in a second, double check to make sure. Maybe it's just where I'm standing at looks weird, but other than that, this right here is a massive achievement. Truly, this is the bathroom, also AKA Germination room. So everything starts in here. And honestly, I've hit so many problems where this room isn't big enough for the shelves. Truly, this shelf does a lot. I can get a lot on here. But the problem is, it's just when I'm growing a ton of stuff at the same time, like all of the basil at the same time, a ton of microgreens, I quickly hit the limits of what this shelf can do. So I'm going to add the second shelf right here, and I honestly think that will be very significant. And this is just an idea, but if I can fit a third shelf, that would be amazing. But 2 shelves are basically good enough for me. Now, about the door. So I'm going to be looking at some options on like Amazon and stuff. Now, I do need to clip this where it's a little bit more smooth going down. But I think like when you see like maybe a walk-in freezer or something, those little flaps that keep in all the moisture and something like that, or maybe a curtain I can put up here, because obviously it is still a bathroom, but for privacy reasons. But honestly, I think that might be good. Also, that point would be to get more airflow, I guess. The thing is, it's going to look great. All of this stuff is going to look great. I do need to do a lot more work in here. I mean, there's so much work to do, but I'm kind of hitting the point today because I've been in here for about 5 hours today getting stuff done. And honestly, I think for now I'm going to call it good. I've unpackaged all these stuff while my mom was vacuuming. Big thanks to her. But with this, I think the 5 shelves are good enough. Honestly, I did order 6 shelf a few days after I ordered these. So that one's still on the way, but honestly, I think 5 will still be good enough. And tomorrow's gonna be a big day. Once again, I mean, tomorrow I think my main goal is to, and honestly, I might try and start unhooking the shelves like in 3 or 4 hours before I go to bed. Try and get a few things moved to make tomorrow a little bit more easy moving, because tomorrow is the building day. I'm building all the shelves tomorrow. Basically, these top 2 shelves will be completely taken off. I will take this top pole off and I'll add a middle pole to make it the same height as this. Then this will be insanely tall, insanely awesome, incredible. A little bit nervous that I might tip over at some point, so I might have to really secure each one with a ton of zip ties, which honestly will be fine. Then with this shelf, these shelves are basically at the peak height, so I won't have to add any poles to it conveniently, so I'll have a ton of extra poles. But these shelves will still have to be completely scratched. Instead of taking off the top 2, I'm gonna have to take off every single one except the bottom one. And they're gonna be identical to this shelf. The reason why is I'm gonna drastically expand my herb selection. Honestly, it's gonna be incredible. Lots of stuff to be excited about. Strawberries are doing pretty good. I did that earlier. Honestly, the roots, I don't know if this will work. Honestly, I have no idea what I'm doing right now. So kind of just going with what feels right now. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I learned something in the end, but if it does work, it'll be extremely exciting because then they can go in this system. So again, I'll see you guys tomorrow, where hopefully I will have a lot of the shelves already kind of lined out, kind of already in here, ready for everything to be installed, taken apart, and rebuilt. So I think that's all I need to do today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Well, it is officially a new day. Yesterday was big. I ended up getting back in the room and I moved all the shelves in here ready to be just added on. So today is going to be a massive kind of just construction day. The goal for today, I don't know if I'm going to be able to accomplish this much, but I'm hoping to completely redo every single shelf in the room. Now, from basically what I'm thinking, I'm averaging this to take about 8 hours. So each shelf one by one, what I need to really do is move probably this shelf over next to this. I need to just compare and contrast and just slowly build this from the ground up. I need to move this back over, and then once that is done, this entire shelf kind of building will be very quick. It's gonna be a little bit more complicated to take the shelves off though, because I don't want to damage the fans, and they're a nightmare to put on, so I kept all of them on. And same with this. But what's a little bit nicer about this is already exactly where I need to have it at. Now the question is, where does it connect at? It actually might be in here. I might have to look into that, because what would be awesome is if I could just take off maybe the top 2 shelves and then add the extra poles on and just do some measuring and then put the extra shelves on. So those should be pretty easy. This one's gonna be a little bit more tricky because I have to take a little bit more off, and the fans are a lot older. So I might have to re-situate all the other fans, because I'd much rather have these smaller fans because they're as efficient. But the thing is, for this shelf and how tight the space is, when they're super efficient, it just dries the plants out like crazy. So once that is done, I also need to get in here and I need to add one more to this area. Now the thing is, the microgreens also need to go in today, so maybe I should move that around first. So today's gonna be a big day, but I think for now, I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the time lapse and try and get as much done as possible right now. Well, I gotta say, building the shelves is definitely the most hands-on thing throughout the entire room. Honestly, it's kind of weird because even though my hands hurt from carrying those extremely heavy shelves all the way up the ladder to the very top, this is actually kind of the funnest part of the construction process because slowly, you get to see the room transform. I mean, from how it looked, honestly, like 3 hours ago to now, I mean, the system has come a long way. So what I need to do now is, I mean, there's gonna be 3 that still need to go on top. I was really kind of hoping to get 2 extra ones, but honestly, having, I mean, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and at the top, 5 is still awesome. So, really, I think with that row, I definitely need to do some wattage checks, and which will take a few days after construction. But honestly, once all that's done, I'll be able to flip the switch on the system, and honestly, it will be absolutely incredible. So with this system, really, all I need to do now is install the grow lights and fans on the top row, which will be easy. I need to install all the electricity, all the cords, zip tie that to the top of the shelf, clean it all up, where it's really easy to do maintenance because it sucks to do maintenance when everything's just kind of thrown all around. So that's something I do want to make look a little bit better with this new system. But once all that's installed, I'll put the top row of shelves on. The reason why I'm doing that is because as Goforth Produce gets bigger, and I need to get more supplies, more extra stuff like containers, extra bulk seeds, just kind of all the above. It'll be able to go on top of the shelf. Now, I definitely still have a ton of storage over here, which honestly will last me for a long time, but I'm just adding that in just for something extra so I don't have to figure out how to install it later because I've made that mistake so many times. I'm just kind of planning for the future right now. Then, with all those fans, I need to do the same thing, somewhat the same thing with over here. Now, this shelf will be awesome. There'll be a lot of incredible stuff going on. Grow lights, really don't enjoy installing grow lights. They're not fun because I have to figure out exactly how to do it. Sometimes I install them wrong, so I have to restart. And I mean, it's just a nightmare. But once grow lights are done, it's gonna be an easy ride to install everything. I also need to do fans on the top row. I'm crossing my fingers I have enough fans because what I need to do is I have 2 different types of fans. This is kind of the smaller, older version. And then I got, like, this is a great example. Here are the older kinds. And then it goes immediately into a bigger kind. A little bit more advanced, a little bit, well, it's just a lot better. It doesn't use as much electricity. It doesn't, I mean, it's like 1 watt difference, but I mean, when I'm working with so many fans in here, it is pretty extreme once you add the numbers up. But what I'm hoping to do is I'm hoping to take these fans off, the little fans, and as I start getting a lot higher with this, I need to install some of those fans to here. Then, something I've always needed to do is get better ventilation in here. Honestly, this is the germination room, and the more humidity in the room, the better. But the problem is the walls, I mean, it's a bathroom. I mean, in some ways it is designed for a lot of humidity for like when showers are taken. But the only thing is, I'm wondering if I should get fans in here. I might add that on later, honestly, for the idea of this being the main watering room. And like, I mean, I still use the bathtub, not really for showers, but for filling up the watering system and then turning that on. I don't really want to get that electricity stuff wet, especially with like all the above in here. So I might run some pros and cons. I want to build that shelf here. That will take me some time, but for the most part, everything is looking good. For the most part, the big part of construction is done with. I just need to do germination. And honestly, I'm going to take a small break because I've been in here for 3 hours building. It's taken a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. But for the most part, I'm going to try and get back in the room. My goal is to have the grow lights not installed, but I want to have them on each shelf lined up the way they need to be. I want to have each fan unpackaged and just sitting on the shelf where they'll be zip tied tomorrow morning. And I mean, there's absolutely zero chance I'm going to be finishing wiring everything tomorrow. It takes way too long to zip tie everything. And I mean, for just doing one shelf for the strawberries, wiring it would take me the entire day. I mean, 5 hours of wiring. Horrible. Hurts on the feet standing on that ladder for 2.5 hours without taking a break. But honestly, I'm gonna try and get as much done tomorrow, try and prepare me as much for tomorrow. And yeah, for the most part, I'm gonna take a small break, and I'll see you guys probably in the next time lapse when I'm trying to get as much done as possible. It's been some time. I've done a lot. It is currently coming up on 11 p.m. at night. So it is very late. It's been about 9 hours building today. So, I mean, the room looks absolutely awesome. Don't get me wrong. I didn't do anything to the aquaponics, but of course it looks pretty awesome. Super cool. But going throughout the room, I really want to do kind of end of the day sum up of what's going on. So number one, the Germination shelf looks absolutely amazing. I mean, truly, I'm so excited about this upgrade because before, it just was small. It was a small system. I had, I believe, 4 rows of grow lights. So, I mean, I still have a lot of opportunity to germinate stuff under grow lights, but just having 3 more really is going to get me a lot farther throughout the room. Then, going throughout the rest of the room, there's a lot still to do. The grow lights are going to be a big one. So, zone 3 will be quite easy. All I had to do is the top row, install the fan and the 6 grow lights. The thing that's going to be very difficult is I do have to still wire. So honestly, when you think about just installing the fans, it doesn't sound horrible, but I do have to wire. I have to bring in all the cords on every single one to hook all the grow lights up. So there is still a ton of work to do. Honestly, I'm very satisfied with today. Don't get me wrong. I was hoping to have the grow lights on each shelf, ready to just me walk in the room tomorrow with a handful of zip ties and just stand in front of the shelf instantly and start putting them up. It will take me an hour probably to set everything up and get everything ready, but in the end, I think it all should be fine. Once everything's wired at the top too, I'm going to put shelves on top. I already explained it earlier in today's video, so I don't want to explain it twice. With this system, I also had to do the same thing. I had to install all the grow lights. This shelf is going to take me probably maybe 7 hours to do. I have to install every single grow light on all the shelves. This shelf luckily is like 75, I guess more than 80% done. And then I still have to wire everything. Luckily, zone 1 doesn't need any work. I hope to do a little bit of work on the cords. What I talked about, everything being kind of coiled up earlier, I will do work on that later. I just need to kind of run a little bit more numbers on the cords I need and how many of each one I need in order to make stuff work. So I might place an order for that tomorrow if I get to that. There's still a lot to do, but I mean, stuff is looking pretty good. And again, I don't think I mentioned this shelf. I ended up installing all the fans, so the fans look amazing, kind of like a data center in a way, just a lot of technology. But I do still have to install the grow lights. And what's different about this, and I don't think I've explained it yet in this video, these grow lights are different. They're part of what I use for Goforth Produce 1.0. The room was small, didn't really have, I mean, it was older. A few years went past and a new one came out called Barina. Way better, way newer, way more advanced. So that's what I ended up picking up. Now, obviously, I don't really want to throw away a couple $1,000s worth of grow lights that they still work. They're not as strong, but honestly, if these Barina grow lights were this close to the plants, it would just scald them. It'd be like putting the seedlings in like an oven and turning it on for like a minute. I mean, it would just scald the plants. It'd be way too much light intensity. But the problem is, I have a serious amount of grow lights. I mean, check that out. The thing is, they're very different, so they're easy to tell which one's what. Like this one's smooth, and the newer ones are curved. You can see that. So I believe a lot of the bottom is the older kind. So it will be nice to use more of those. So each row will get 3. So I need 3, 6, 9, 9 of them. I definitely have 9, so that's awesome there. Going throughout all of this, I do need to cut the zip ties tomorrow, but other than that, well, honestly, moving these around should probably take maybe 15 minutes tops. Not anything horrible. But kind of wrapping up today, this room. I've been in here for the last 2 hours, getting as much done as I can possibly get done. Now, talking about exactly what still needs to happen now. I vacuumed. I've done a lot of kind of moving around with all the shelves. Honestly, I changed it up a little bit. I actually ended up, so these wider rows are for the microgreens because I stacked them, and that's just kind of how they go. Now, I would explain that in today's video, but I've explained it many, many times on this channel, and I'll just kind of save that for an upcoming video. But the thing is, I really do want to expand the microgreen selection, and as the business grows, I really don't want to have to run into the case of, man, I get the treatment of having to uninstall these shelves. Now, I'm not looking forward to taking these shelves apart because they're going to be insanely difficult. Honestly, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to take them apart in here, but I'll just get to that point later. But with this system, there's a lot of stuff happening. I ended up adding a 5th row. Now, it's going to make me a little bit nervous having the grow lights this tall because as they get more grown, they start to kind of become like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. They start to kind of lean. And, I mean, I've never had them fall before. Well, I take that back. I've had some fall before, but out of maybe 100 times of me doing that, I've maybe had 2 fall. The thing is, it gets me nervous because the thing is I put cement blocks, very small concrete blocks on top to weigh it down. And, I mean, you're probably wondering, what? Like, what on earth is this guy talking about? Trust me, that's how microgreens are grown. If you guys are interested in it, you can check out another video on this channel. But the thing is, I would seriously hate to see damage from one of the stacks falling off of like this shelf and having those cement blocks hitting the tile floor. Because without doubt, it's going to shatter the cement block. That's also going to just destroy the expensive tile. And that's the last thing I want to pay for and have to fix because that's going to be a very costly fix. So, I'm thinking something that I might install tomorrow is kind of a piece of tape that's going to wrap around it, just packing tape, something super strong, do a few times around it, but it would kind of add as like a barrier. So if it would happen to fall or lean that way, the tape would kind of hold it in its spot. Now, I might do that like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. I don't think the middle needs it. I think that's unnecessary, but so far it's looking pretty good. Another big thing is those. So those are heating mats. They're great for helping certain plants germinate a little bit faster or seeds that just need more heat. And honestly, that is most plants. So the thing is, I do need to get those installed. I kind of thought I had 6 of them. Guess I only have 5, or maybe there's just 1 somewhere in the facility. But what I'm thinking is maybe doing 1, 2. Well, I think I might use that one as a storage area for basically everything you saw me take off the shelves during the time lapse. And then I would kind of put everything on this side and then put like a power strip or something right there. And I mean, I'll have to think about it, but honestly, I could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places to do that. And then 7 if I want to go up there. Now, it's going to be very hard to reach up there, so I don't know if I need to do that. Yeah, I might have to think about that and see how easy it is. But honestly, I could do just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Honestly, and this one probably doesn't need it, but I mean, just in case I could get 6 just heated mats on this. Another thing is certain seeds also need light during germination, like rosemary in particular. So what I might do is put maybe 3 on the bottom, just 1, 2, 3 or something. I'd hate to do stuff very close to the top because that's just, again, unnecessary. So I might have to think about that. I might look at the price because, I mean, if they're cheap enough, I'll just do all shelves. But yeah, I'll definitely have to think about it. So I might just do it, call it 3, but I'm going to wash those tonight. And hopefully by tomorrow, I can get a lot done. Again, there's 0 chance I'm going to be able to finish tomorrow. So I guess tomorrow I'm going to kind of go off the script on trying to figure out exactly, like, I'm going to finish tomorrow. I'm just going to try and just go as fast as I can, try and get as much done as possible, and then whatever I don't get done, I guess it'll be the next day. So for now, I'm gonna go to bed and I'll see you guys in the morning. All right, it is officially the next day, and going off what I said yesterday, I'm thinking my main goal for today is to get all the grow lights installed, get all the fans installed, and be ready to start wiring. Now, there's again zero chance they're gonna be able to get all of it done today. So I think my number one goal is to get everything installed and just finish wiring tomorrow. So we'll see how much I can get done today, but let's go ahead and start the time lapse on honestly getting as close as possible to finishing today. Well, that was one big day. It is once again, same as last night, 11 at night. But I mean, truly, everything is installed. The kind of installing construction part of this video is completely finished, which is a massive milestone from demolition, construction, and kind of building in that, then wiring everything. Tomorrow's gonna be an extremely big day. Honestly, I really don't think I'll be able to get it done in really one day. So I'm thinking my goal is get 75% of it done tomorrow and get the kind of rest, plug everything in the next day, and try and prep as much as possible. So going throughout everything, I was kind of hoping to plug in some of the cords to grow lights, but it is too late. I am at least extremely happy I was able to get the cords prepped where they just need to be picked up tomorrow and installed right there. All the cords are neatly stacked, counted. What's a little bit more difficult is these grow lights are, like what I said earlier in the video, older. So the thing with these are, they use older cords, and conveniently, I didn't think I'd be doing an upgrade like this. So I threw all the extra cords in one box. Over time, as it's gotten moved and moved and moved to different shelves, it's kind of, yeah, the cords were not very fun to find. So that took me like a good hour and a half to try and figure out, kind of untie everything, because there's just knots all over with cords just kind of tied together. So that wasn't very fun, but in the end, all grow lights are installed, all fans are installed, everything's looking pretty awesome. I've been kind of going up and down the room lately, well, I guess the last 5 minutes, and trying to decide exactly how I'm gonna wire everything. Because if you wire something wrong, it's just an absolute nightmare to have to go back to it later and fix it. So I'm trying to figure it out. I'm thinking, now, again, what's different is when I first built the system, I didn't have these types of fans. So I just had one cord go down on each area, because kind of how I have it is it's kind of two halves, the top two shelves and then the bottom two shelves. So I'll have to have a ton of extension cords. So I'll have two go down that for grow lights and fans, one go down this. Over here, I'll have to have, again, identical to the other side, two right there and then two down there. And then I'll just plug all the fans in and all the grow lights in. Basically identical to all of this. And I mean, it's great because this is a great example. I don't have to kind of figure it out as I go through it. This shelf will be a little bit more complicated because it does have 5 on each shelf, and my USB cords only are for 4. So it's going to be a little bit complicated to figure that part out, but I think in the end it all should be pretty good and pretty easy to really get it all done. So I'm going to go ahead and go to bed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. And again, my goal is to at least get to 75%. 50% would be great. My goal is to have everything plugged in, kind of tied up, and have everything prepped where all I have to do is start plugging stuff in and zip tying everything. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, it is officially the next day, and honestly, my excuses today is I've gotten extremely busy with my other business today, and honestly, quote unquote, it is now 4 p.m. today. So I'm gonna try and get as much done as I can possibly do. But since obviously I can't get the entire room finished in under like 3 or 4 hours, my goal today is gonna be get all these cords installed. So that means bringing these up, installing them up here, doing the cords, making sure if I plugged them in right now, they would work. I also want to install a few other components. So like these things. I want to install these today, get them all zip tied. I don't know for sure if I'm going to be able to get them like all of this done today. Probably definitely not, because that takes me a very long time to make it that organized. So I'm going to try and get as much done as possible. That's going to be the main goal. I don't know if I'll be getting the top ones done though, because that's going to be a little bit more difficult because, well, it determines which kinds I'm going to be using and how long the cords are. So I guess I'll turn on the time ups and I'll see how much I can get done in the next few minutes. All right, well, it's been some time since I've been back in the room and did the last time lapse. But I will say, I ended up turning it off and I left the room for a few hours. And then I got back in the room about an hour ago and decided to really just finish all of this up. I don't really know why I didn't turn the time lapse back on, but it looks incredible. You can see all the stuff is installed. It is really, I mean, yeah, one flip of a switch and then boom, it all is working. It is completely powered and it is a lot more clean than the original system. It looks absolutely incredible. I also added a lot of other features and something I completely forgot to add. And then towards the end, as I was about to push this in, I realized, wait a second. So with germination, you need heat mats for certain plants. And obviously that has to be plugged into something. So I ended up adding this. So maybe I could probably just switch it off right now, but what I'm hoping is just kind of these few middle rows will kind of just be used by it. I don't really know if I'm going to use the bottom row for that because I mean it's such a long ways for that cord to reach, but honestly I think it all looks absolutely incredible. Doing a more of a walkthrough throughout the rest of this, I've also finished installing all the grow light cords. It's a great start. It's a great stopping point. And also tomorrow is the 4th, so I don't plan on getting back in the room tomorrow, but I really hope to get it all done after that. All these, I have no idea what they're called, but they have kind of a breaker, so I'm going to call it outlet breaker. Let's just call it that. I installed all of them, so all of them are zip tied, installed, looking great. Same with all of that. All I have to do now is install all the big extension cords, make sure it's all clean like this, and I mean, hopefully in the next 72 hours, these shelves will slowly start to look like this with all the stuff just kind of plugged in, cleaned up, and looking absolutely beautiful. So for the most part, I think really I'm gonna call it good for today. Try and get as much done as possible. I did actually clean up all of these cords too, so they look really good. I mean, just check out how clean each of the cords look. Now I think it's kind of odd why when I do that with kind of move the cords over, this barely is like that. I think that's really interesting. It is currently the day before 4th of July, so people are shooting the fireworks outside, but yeah, system looks awesome. Right now, it is again extremely late, so I will see you guys probably in 2 or 3 days once I can really get a lot of work done and have the entire day to be efficient and get a lot done. I'll see you then. Well, it is now another morning. It's been like a week since I did the last update, so a little bit disappointed on that part, but I've just recently gotten extremely busy with other work with Goforth Produce and Goforth Bricks, which is my Lego investing business. But of course, I do have a ton of time coming up in the next week, so I'm determined to get this work done. So today's gonna be a major day because honestly, I have the entire day free. So honestly, I could be in here from now to like 3 a.m. So I have a lot of time, but really quickly, I just want to do a really fast walkthrough around the room and talk about exactly what needs to get done still. Well, funny story. I actually did the outro when this was almost done. And then I actually got back in the room a couple of hours after I filmed that. And then I completely finished the wiring. So I decided to redo that. That's what you guys just watched. But honestly, that shelf looks amazing. So going throughout this system, honestly, it's impossible to get done all of this in one day. So that's really definitely hit me, especially with still getting work done for other parts of my businesses too. I can't really finish all of it in one day. So my main goal is to finish this shelf today. Honestly, that should be somewhat easy. A little bit more difficult than the Germination shelf, but honestly, I just need the wire stuff together. I've actually made pretty significant progress on all the wiring, so I just need to undo these, kind of rewire them, because what I do is I kind of pull them up, zip tie them up to here so the wire is not in the way. Honestly, I did somewhat the same thing with, just knocked down one of the shelves there, but honestly, I did somewhat the same thing with this here. I don't really love to do it because it does kind of angle the grow lights. These are the different brands, so they're not as heavy, but I don't think I'm gonna do that same thing with that. Honestly, I'm still kind of walking through the room to kind of figure out exactly where I'm gonna start. So I'm gonna start somewhere. We'll just really have to see how everything goes. Again, I'm a little bit nervous on how I'm gonna fit everything together because there's 5 shelves. So these bottom 2 are gonna be plugged into the bottom, and I'm thinking somehow by miracle, I'm gonna have to get that 3rd shelf all the way to the top, which I do not know, and I do not think the main cords are long enough. So that definitely gets me a little bit more nervous. I guess if I have to, I could always install another one of the beams here, the outlets, but I don't think that's necessary. Plus I'm gonna go through a lot more cords than I really need. So I'm gonna start with that. We'll just have to see how everything goes in the end, but honestly, let's go and start. Progress update. It's been about 3 hours worth of work and it looks insane. Honestly, zone 3 is almost complete. I mean, truly insanely close. Probably maybe 97% of the way done. All I had to do is zip tie a few things at the very top, clean it all up, make sure it all functions correctly, and then I just have to plug it in. Everything is really fully good. In the time lapse, you also saw me going all over this shelf too in the very beginning. What I have done is I've kind of just prepped it a little bit more. I've added the other main cords, kind of exactly what I prepped this. So honestly, this is almost finished. Really, I think all I really have to do now, the big thing I have to do now, is undo these, zip tie them up to here, kind of clean them up, because I like to have them go like that, where they just look a lot more clean. You don't really notice the cords. And then really, all I had to do, clean up the top a little bit more, make sure all the cords are plugged in, especially to here. And then all I have to do is zip tie it. And this is also done too. I've prepped all of it. So that is absolutely incredible. Again, this shelf, everything's zip tied. You can see everything's cleaned up. Now, it doesn't look the best. Don't get me wrong. It could look a lot more clean. Honestly, I'm not an electrician. So I'm doing the best of what I can do to the point of where it is as safe as possible to work around. The last thing I want is something touching the shelves and the entire shelf is electrified. So that would be catastrophic, but honestly, it's all looking pretty good. Again, really, I might finish tonight. Now, again, I've been in here for 3 hours. I'm sick of standing and climbing up really all sorts of ladders. So I'm gonna take a good break, try and get some other work on some future videos done, and then I'm gonna try and get back in the room later tonight and try and get as much done as I can possibly finish. Well, after many days, the system is finally done. It is honestly like 10 p.m. at night. It is so late. I've been in this room for maybe a good 8 hours today, just wiring everything. My hands definitely hurt from gripping the pliers as hard as possible to cut the zip ties. But now it is so exciting because after all the exciting many days of construction, the system is now finished. So let's check out what the final 2.0 official system looks like and what it has to offer. Starting with the aquaponics system. This system turns fish waste into extremely good plant nutrients. Then the plants take out all that stuff and returns that fresh water back to the fish where it's still safe. And it's a beautiful cycle. We're gonna be growing all sorts of stuff on this. Honestly, we're gonna be growing 2 different types of lettuce mixes. And honestly, I'm still kind of figuring out exactly what to grow in the top row, but that is gonna be very exciting once that is officially done. This system is also brand new. Our old system was completely PVC. This system is way bigger, almost double the size, and it uses plastic with the main structure being metal. But now talking about the main vertical farm system. This system is absolutely incredible. We have 3 main zones of this, with zone 1 and zone 2, mainly for herbs. We're gonna be growing over 12 different types of incredibly tasty herbs. And then our 3rd zone is gonna be strictly for microgreen production, with that being one of our fan favorites in the shop. But the thing is, with this new upgrade, we've expanded the height. We've also redone a lot of the shelves where they are ready for what they're designed to be growing on. But with the remodeling we've been doing during this video, we've expanded the height on the microgreen shelves. We've added brand new advanced technology to be able to grow stuff faster and better. And I've also redone a ton of shelves to be able to grow what it needs to grow, like the herb shelves. I've also completely rewired all the shelves where they are a lot more safer to work with. But that's not it. Going over to the germination system, our main germination, where it sits in a dark, humid room, this is more than doubled in size, with us being able to grow even more microgreens at the same time and way more herbs to germinate. But something I've always ran into is the germination light shelves have never been big enough. So with this new system, I added 3 brand new shelves with higher end technology to be able to grow stuff faster, better, and have a lot more room to work with. I've also done a lot more work with adding safety features to make sure no water can get in the outlet. So more things I've done is I've gotten a lot more heated mats to be able to germinate stuff faster. And something I'm extremely excited about is our water trays. Honestly, I've always been stuck with using the clothing bin, and that's not the most productive. So with this boot mat, that's kind of what it's called, this will be able to hold the water in a lot better, where I don't have to use a clothing bin now to hold the water in for germinating smaller plants. So that is absolutely incredible. But again, like what I started this video off with, The point of this remodeling is to make sure the system is completely ready for 100% operation. Now that the construction is done, I'm able to go fully into testing, figuring out, learning how to grow these plants, and getting a way bigger selection. So there's a lot more to come with Goforth Produce, so check us out on more videos as they do come out with more progress updates. So thank you so much for watching today's final remodeling video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. But before I do end, please subscribe, hit the bell notification on all so you do not miss another video, and please like this video. Thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace